Welcome back, everybody, to another brand new installment of the Mailbag. Well, that's really not an interesting way to bring this about. Something more peppy. It's Bourbon-Lite with your friend Frosty. Your good friend Whiskey is not here. He is dealing with personal business in Providence, Rhode Island. No, wait, sorry, that's Boston, Massachusetts. There's a subtle difference between the two of them. At any rate, he is busy, I am here, and I figured I'd start out our year by answering some of the mailbag questions. Not that we have an actual mailbag, that would be weird. People don't do that anymore. But a couple of our loyal listeners and friends have sent in some questions, I've amassed them, and have decided to answer them. Hope everyone's doing okay and had a wonderful new year. This is 2024 now, and don't worry, we will be back with more episodes, just not at this exact second. Hey, I'm giving you something, alright? So, let's dive in. Our first question comes from our good friend and listener, Kevin Sampson. What is the best ingredient to add to a pie? Good question. Clearly, the best ingredient is artificial sweetener, because I'm a diabetic and I can't have actual sugar. Aside from that, pile on the cinnamon and keto vanilla ice cream. Just go with me on this. He also continues, let's add a fetish question. First, Frosty, to answer, in your opinion, who is the best bootmaker and what styles are their best? Alright, so this is definitely right up my alley, thank you. The best bootmaker I've ever had to deal with myself is Miguel Jones. On eBay, I found this amazing bootmaker, all custom stuff, in a store where every single boot that I've ever wanted, tall ones over the knee, amazing stuff, and all for amazingly competitive prices, they were perfect. So, Miguel Jones. Unlike some places that want, a couple thousand, I have 3 custom pairs from Miguel Jones, and my favorite style is anything thigh-high. Next, we have Becca from Connecticut. Do you have some advice for single people to deal with Valentine's Day? Buy chocolate. Barring that, learn to love yourself and go all Miley Cyrus and buy yourself flowers, run across the beach into your own arms, dance awkwardly with yourself, but still buy the chocolate. In all seriousness, I would personally dismiss the day as just something you can miss and focus on yourself. I'm in a relationship, and we don't actually care about Valentine's Day. Never truly have. That being said, I need to buy the biggest bouquet of white roses available out there now. Our next question is actually from Robert. Hi, dude. I miss you. Happy New Year's. What is infinity times infinity? I think he's screwing with us. What is the square root of -1? He's definitely screwing with us. What are your first impressions of the new Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa? Well, first, I have to say that, for months now, I've been calling him Ncuti Gatwa. I found out that that's not how you pronounce his name. It's actually Ncuti Gatwa. I also want to start out by pointing out a major criticism of Jodie Whittaker when she was announced to be the first, female Doctor, was that she as a woman would be all high heels and sexy clothing, flirtatious and sensual. And from what we have seen of the latest Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, a man, an openly gay Doctor, but a man nonetheless, has worn more sexy clothing and is more flirtatious and sensual than Jodie was in her entire run. And he's only been on for 1.5 episodes and a handful of trailers. So take that, sexist logic. Sexist logic. Sit down, keep quiet. Next, I can't wait to see what Ncuti's signature look will be. But you can bet it's going to involve a long coat of some kind. He seems filled with youthful energy and has that whole, I'm the Doctor, let me sweep objects off this table and stand on top of it for a better view demeanor we all know and love. He also seems to have a great deal more emotional depth from the get-go, as we've already seen him cry over people he's just met, and definitely also has that whole cheeky roguishness thing down, too. Can you blame me? He's cute. This one is from Anonymous. That's cool. What are you drinking right now? Believe it or not, a green apple Gatorade. Yeah, I just got done with the biggest tattoo I have ever gotten, splayed across my back from shoulder to shoulder, and it freaking hurts, and I feel high as a kite. Thing is, I am also a diabetic, and then getting a tattoo done causes your blood sugar to drop like a stone, hence the lightheadedness. So I am chilling out with a less than guilty pleasure, which is a non-sugar-free Gatorade. I know, right? There are other things in this house aside from booze. Chicago John. Why is it Chatham when it's also Eastham and Wareham? Confused, honestly. That one always seemed weird to me, TBH. Okay, I could look this up. I should look this up. I am not going to look this up and instead leave this question up to my ridiculous subconscious and knee-jerk answers because we're New England and screw you, that's why. I mean, this land is made up of the most ridiculous names. We have a freaking town out here called Sandwich. Alright, the actual answer, because I do know this one. There are towns in Old England that are also in New England, and most of the names here trace back there or have roots in Old English or Latin. In England, there are actually two towns of note, an East Ham and a West Ham. Both are two separate words, but here in North America, they were slammed together but retain the old spelling and pronunciation. Ham is ham. Chatham was always one word and never Chatham or Chatham. So it all comes down to local pronunciation. Isn't learning fun? And finally, this is from Robbie. How are things in Glockamora? Robbie, this is you, sweetie. You know I don't know the words to that one. Okay, so I just want to fill you guys in on a little of what's been going on the Cape. Whiskey is still with us. He's just off and busy doing something amazing and big, career-oriented too. So he has been away for the last couple of weeks. I miss him dearly, and I set up a little altar for him with a black candle and whatnot. Don't tell him I did that. He'll find it weird. Maybe I should erase this part. No, I'm not going to do that. Also, we are getting back into the swing of things at work, and you know how it is when the year flips over and you gotta change the calendar. Things are a little difficult, but we're getting back in there. So, in the upcoming episodes, we are gonna talk about some new changes to the podcast, to the way we broadcast, and just some new stuff on the horizon. But I did want to tell you right now that we still are loving your answers and would love more to what is your New Year's resolution? And if you want to throw in, just for the fun of it, what an old New Year's resolution was, I'd be happy to read that one too. Maybe it was the year 2020 and your resolution was to see all 50 states and breathe openly with my face exposed to the sunshine, because we all know how that wound up. Right. So, I also wanted to tell you all that I am... Oh, this is kind of awkward. I'm copywriting something new. Something I should not be doing, but it's too good. My first work of erotic fiction. Yes, that may show up on the podcast. At some point, we might read that. Try and not lose our minds. Read it with a perfectly straight face. If it happens, I'm sorry. But if not, well then, screw you. I'm still doing it. It's just something we do. Now, it has been a long year. It has been a long week. It has been a long day, and I am struggling to stay upright here, thanks to a lot of endorphins and feeling a little woo-hoo. Thanks to that tattoo. I'll post some pictures later, but that also reminds me of one other thing. We are starting an Instagram page at long last, and as soon as that is up, I will have the link for you, and I will post it, and you will see it, and you can learn to love us all over again. Don't forget you can email us anytime at whiskeyandfrosty@yahoo.com. We'd love to hear from you. So, thank you again for all your questions. This has been your friend Frosty, signing off. See you next time.